Hello Algebra 1. Today we are going to continue talking about the quadratic formula. So we're going to come down to number 2 here. Use the quadratic formula to find the solutions to the equations, round any answers to the nearest hundredth. And let's go ahead and write our quad formula up here for you. Opposite b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right, so the first thing you want to check is if you have an equals 0. If you do, we can go right to identifying our a and our b and our c values, which we do. So we have a is going to be 4, that's the number with x squared. B is going to be negative 13, that's the number with x, and c is going to be 3. And now we'll just go ahead and we'll plug these numbers into our equation. So I have x equals opposite b, that makes this a positive 13, plus or minus square root of b squared, plug that negative 13 in, minus 4, a is 4, c is 3, all over 2, a is 4. All right, next step is to evaluate the discriminant, which is this number underneath the square root. Okay, so I'm going to do parentheses, negative 13 squared minus 4 times 4 times 3, and you should get a 121. Go ahead and rewrite it. And don't forget to evaluate the bottom. 2 times 4 is 8. All right, final step is to go ahead and plug this into your calculator. Make sure you do it twice because we do have a plus and a minus. 13 plus square root 121, enter, divided by 8. Okay, so first solution or x-intercept is a 3. Or, all right, let's do it again. 13 minus square root 121, enter, divide by 8. Second solution is at a 0.25. All right, so there are your two solutions. Let's jump down to number 4 next. Number 4, you should notice, is not in standard form. This means we don't have an equals 0. So we will have to go ahead and subtract that 1 over first. Because it's the regular number, it's going to go at the end. So 12x squared minus 5x minus 1 equals 0. Now we can identify a, b, and c. A is 12. It's with our x squared. B is negative 5. It's with x. C is negative 1, our constant. All right, let's go ahead and plug these in. X equals opposite b, which is 5, plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 a c, don't lose that negative, all over 2a. All right, let's evaluate the discriminant. Negative 5 squared minus 4 times 12 times negative 1. I got a 73. Okay, so 5 plus or minus root 73 all over 2 times 12 is 24. Okay, so now let's go ahead and type this in. This time we should be pretty good at this. Make sure you do this with a plus and a minus. And then don't forget to do the division step. Sometimes we forget that. So 0.56 should be your first solution, which again, this represents one of our x-intercepts with our parabola, and then do it again. In fact, you can go up and just grab it. I don't know if that really saves you any time, but then you can change this to a minus. It's probably just faster to retype it in. Okay. And divide by 24. Negative 0.15 this will be. All right, and there are your two solutions. All right, go ahead and flip the page. These next two we're going to have to move a lot of stuff over. So remember, we want to get x squared, x, and our number, which is what we have on the left here, but on the right we should have an equals 0. So we need to subtract over our 4x and we need to subtract over our 6. And you're just going to move them to the other side, and you're going to line them up with the like terms. So the 8x squared, that doesn't have anybody, bring him down. 3x minus 4x is a negative 1x. 10 minus 6 is a positive 4, and these guys are gone now, so we have an equals 0. All right, so this is our standard form now. That means that A is 8, and B is negative 1, and C is 4. All right, let's plug it in. X equals opposite B, so that's 1, plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Next, evaluate the discriminant. So that's a parentheses, negative 1 squared minus 4 times 8 times 4, which gives you a negative 127. Well, wait a minute. 2 times 8 is 16. Can we have a negative underneath the square root? No, we can absolutely not. This means there is no intersection with the x-axis, and we call this no solution. All right, let's try another one. This is another unique case here. Well, first things first, we have to go ahead and we have to move some stuff over. So let's subtract our 2x. That'll line up with our 16x. We also have to add this 49 over. I'm just going to put that here. There's really no place to put it yet. So that will give us this equals 0 on the right, but we're also going to have to reorder some things on the left. We want our x squared to come first, so go ahead and put it. Notice you aren't subtracting it. It's already on the correct side. You just need to change the order. So x squared, and then we'll have 16x minus 2x is a positive 14x. And then we'll have this plus 49. All right, now we're ready to go ahead and do our ABCs. A is just a 1, B is a 14, and C is a 49. Okay, here we go. X equals opposite B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. And something weird is going to happen when we evaluate our discriminant. Okay, let's type it in. 14 squared minus 4AC. You get a 0. 2 times 1 is 2. All right, so how does that affect it when we type this in? Let's find out. Negative 14 plus square root 0 divided by 2. Okay, we get a negative 7. Or, all right, let's plug it in again. Negative 14 minus square root 0 divided by 2. You get a negative 7 again. All right, we're not going to say x equals negative 7 or negative 7. That doesn't make any sense. There's only one answer. It's just x equals negative 7. This is one solution. So what this means is our parabola only hits at one place on the x-axis. It only hits at negative 7, 0. That's it, the only solution. All right, so we've now looked at all three possibilities. We can draw a sketch of a graph that shows each of the following: no solution, one solution, and two solutions. All right, and again, think of solution as just how many times we hit the x-axis. Okay, so no solution would be our parabola does not hit the x-axis at all. One solution would be the situation that we just saw. Our parabola hits the x-axis, but it just hits one time, and then it goes right back up. Okay, and then we have two solutions. Two solutions is what we have seen most of the time. It's where our parabola hits the x-axis two separate times, and we have two answers. So now it turns out that we can actually figure out how many solutions we're going to have by using the discriminant. Okay, when the discriminant, and remember the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac, when it's a positive, we're always going to have two solutions. When it's a negative, well, we can't take the square root of a negative, so that's going to be a no solution. And then our new situation, we found out when our discriminant is 0, we only get one solution. All right, so let's find the discriminant of these guys right here, and then before we even do the whole problem, we should be able to say how many solutions there are. All right, so for letter A is 1, B is -4, and C is 4. And again, you don't have to do the whole quad formula. We're just going to do the discriminant, which is what's underneath the square root. B squared minus 4AC. And we'll type it in. And we get a 0. All right, so this means we have a square root of 0, which is like we got in number 6. This means there is only one solution. Okay, let's try it again. Letter B, well, our A value is just 1. Our B value, notice how there isn't an X at all. That means our B value is 0, and our C value is the number that's 2. All right, we have B squared minus 4AC. Let's type it in. -8. Okay, so what does that mean? It means we have a square root of -8. Can we take the square root of a negative? No, we cannot. This is no solution. Okay, so the discriminant's really helpful. It tells us how many solutions there are without even doing the whole quad formula. All right, last one. A value is a 1. B value is a -10. C value is a 16. B squared minus 4AC. Let's type it in. Was 1 and 16. And we get a 36. That means we have a square root 36, and it doesn't matter what number it is. What matters is that it's a positive number. And so since it's a positive number, we will have two solutions. All right, and there you go. Have a great day.